Hello and welcome to the program from the State Assemblies, your window into the workings of Nigeria's state legislatures. On this episode, Kaduna Assembly passes law granting degree awarding status to College of Education Gidanwaya. Niger Assembly passes Hisba Directorate and Tax Law Bill, plus special on State Houses of Assembly, roles, responsibilities, and impact on citizens. Details of this and more stories will be coming your way shortly. I am your host, Amina Saeed. Thank you for staying with us. In the week under review, Kaduna State House of Assembly has passed into law the bill to repeal the Kaduna State College of Education Gidanwaya 2018 Act. The new law enables the college award degree certificates independently without affiliation to other institutions. Nura Isa has more.
During plenary, lawmakers received a report on the amendment of the law establishing the College of Education Gidanwaya from the Chairman House Committee on Education. The majority leader moved a motion for the adoption of the report. The motion was seconded and subsequently adopted by the House.
The report is hereby adopted.
That focus and the main aim of the bill to enable the college to have what we call a dual mandate system of education, where both NC program and degree program will be running concurrently by the school without any affiliation from any college.
The amended law provides for a single tenure of 5 years for the college management, replacing the previous provision of 2 terms of 4 years.
Tenure is just 4 years of 2 times, but now it's single term of 5 years. That's the new trend. Almost all universities and colleges of education or post-secondary education, the head of agencies, campuses, or colleges do run 5 years single time.
Also, bills seeking to establish a state electricity regulatory commission, a climate change council, and an agency for the provision of social security in the state were presented. These bills were referred to the relevant House committees with a directive to submit their reports on Tuesday, February 10, 2026.
We now take you to Niger, where the State House of Assembly has passed 2 important bills into law, marking a key legislative milestone. State Assembly correspondent Nura Ibrahim reports that the bills include one to amend the Niger State Tax Administration and Consolidation Law 2022 and another to establish the Niger State Hisba Board.
The passage of the Hisba bill into law has now positioned Niger State among the League of Northern States with Hisba agencies. Speaker Niger State House of Assembly Abdul Malik Muhammad Sarkindaji congratulated the House, particularly the sponsor of the bill, and the Joint House Committee on Religious Affairs and Judiciary who worked on the bill and made history. Earlier, Chairman of the committee, Isa Muhammad Isugai, who presented the report, said, in scrutinizing the bill, the committee interacted with relevant stakeholders, including Ministry of Justice, Bureau of Religious Affairs, Police, High Court, Sharia Court, Nigerian Bar Association, and Christian Association of Nigeria, among others, to create awareness and obtain expert opinions on the proposed board. Part of the recommendation of the report was representing the agency to a directorate under the Bureau of Religious Affairs and to be headed by a full-time commander, representative of each of the 8 Emirate Council, and representative of the Security and the Nigerian Bar Association. Sponsor of the bill, Muhammad Abubakar Ustaz of Chanchaga, gave more insight into the bill after the sitting.
This is by law. People must know that it only affects Muslims. If you are a Christian, this law does not affect you. It only affects Muslims. This is by directorate. They are coming to assist the existing security we have on the ground. There are some certain laws that prohibit some certain things in our society, in which police have the constitutional power to do this work. But because police is overstretched, they do not have that manpower to get to the root of these things that are affecting us in our community. That is why we introduced this law, so that they can serve as an aid to existing security architecture we have on the ground.
The House also pass into law a private member bill sponsored by Muhammad Abakar Ustaz of Chanchaga for a law to amend the Niger State Tax Administration and Consolidation Law 2022. The passage of the bill follows the presentation of the report of the House Standing Committee on Finance by its chairman, Aliu Sheshi Wushishi, who maintained that the amendment aligned the state tax framework with the new federal tax law through domestication. The lawmakers agreed with the committee's recommendations that the amendment was necessary for compliance and efficiency. After consideration at the Committee of the Whole, the House unanimously passed the two bills into law and forward to the executive for assent.
Thank you, Nura. To ensure effective healthcare delivery in the State House of Assembly has called for strict enforcement of compliance with provisions of Akwa Ibom State Health Insurance Agency Law 2021. This followed the adoption of a motion by member representing Ibom State Constituency, Moses Issa. The report.
Mr. Sen, who is also Chairman House Committee on Health, expresses concern over widespread refusal of many contractors, corporate bodies and employers to comply with the law mandating them to enroll their employees in the State Health Insurance Scheme. According to him, the State Health Insurance Agency Law 2021 is empowered to guarantee equitable access to quality and affordable healthcare services for all residents of the state and to reduce out-of-pocket health expenditure.
Continued non-compliance with health insurance law will weaken healthcare financing, deny citizens access to quality healthcare, and frustrate the state's drive towards universal health coverage under the Rice Care Program of His Excellency Pastor Moino. It is hereby moved that this Honorable House pass a resolution urging the Akwa State Health Insurance Agency to immediately intensify enforcement of all mandatory contribution and enrollment provisions of the Health Insurance Agency Law 2021.
The motion was widely supported by members who described it as timely and necessary to ensure accountability in the private sector's role in the state health delivery.
The law is the law. Transgression of the law attracts punishment, no matter how high or how low. If the law has prescribed that every contract in this state exceeding 50 million must pay 1% to health insurance agency, Mr. Speaker, they have to pay.
The Speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Udo Motong, directed the Clerk of the House to formally remind the state government of the necessity to enforce the State Health Insurance Agency law for the benefit of the populace.
Now, in recent times, State House of Assembly have come under intense public scrutiny amid concerns over internal power struggles, allegations, and perceived failure to effectively discharge their constitutional responsibilities. In this report, correspondent Muhammad Abubakar examines the constitutional role of the Houses of Assembly and their impact on governance.
The purpose of State House of Assemblies is to make laws, represent constituents, and oversee the executive branches, ensuring good governance, financial accountability, and the overall well-being of the state citizens, among others. Dr. Mahmoud Aliyu, a clerk at the Zamfara State House of Assembly, highlighted some major roles of the State House of Assembly members.
There are different aspects of the legislation. We have the role of the legislature includes lawmaking. Lawmaking cannot be made without the constitution of committees, standing committees and special committees of the House. The Section 103 of the Constitution gave birth to committees of the House. Now, these committees are sub of the House of Assembly.
Experts attributed the inactiveness of some State House of Assemblies to lack of good synergy between the legislative and the executive arm of government, which led to poor representation and non-execution of developmental projects at constituency level. Dr. Abdullahi Tukur, a senior lecturer at the Department of Educational Foundation, Federal College of Education Technical Gusau, maintained that apart from political conflict, executive dominance, and constitutional vulnerability that bring constraint, there are other factors.
Inadequate funding, because most of lawmakers, when contacted, they will tell you that they domicile under the leadership of the executive. They don't have financial autonomy to carry out their duties as lawmakers.
Some politicians expressed their hope and expectations from their representative in the area of filling gap between the masses and higher authority.
Helping them to reach out to the higher authorities that they could not be able to reach by themselves without the assistance of the House of Assembly members. And also there is direct representation, which include community advocacy and conflict resolution.
Because the problems of the masses and the communities where they are representing, they try to make policies which will promote their social and economic aspect of their living.
In essence, the House of Assembly serves as a pillar of democracy, balancing power, promoting transparency, and ensuring good governance at all times.
Meanwhile, the Ebonyi State House of Assembly has confirmed 2 nominees of the State Governor Francis Nwifuru for the position of membership of the Ebonyi State Civil Service Commission. House of Assembly correspondent Samuel Opo reports that one of the nominees, Pastor Vincent Aoki, was a former member of the House.
The screening was the first business of the House for the year 2026 after a recess to enable them celebrate Christmas and New Year festivities. In a plenary before the screening, the Speaker, Chief Moses Ije Odunwa, informed members of a letter from the State Governor Francis Nwifuru requesting for screening and confirmation of 2 nominees as members of the State Civil Service Commission.
We have a letter for us by His Excellency the Governor of the State. This is the forwarding of names for screening and confirmation. I write formally forward for the consideration, screening and confirmation of the State Assembly. The underlisted names of presidents are proposed to appoint into various statutory boards and commissions in the state. Okay, include 1, this member, Civil Service Commission. 2, Honorable Vincent Aoki, member, Civil Service Commission.
The House quickly dissolved to a committee of the whole to enable them screen the nominees following a motion by the House leader Kingsley Ikoro and seconded by Aloysius Nwodo, representing Ebonyi Northwest State constituency. The nominees, Pastor Vincent Awoke and Mrs. Lucy Ofefe, were asked to introduce themselves and take a bow and go following a motion moved by the House leader Kingsley Ikoro and seconded by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Chinedu Ona. Announcing progress after the committee of the whole, the Speaker, Chief Moses Ije Odunwa, put the motion for the confirmation of the nominees into vote, and the House unanimously voted in favor of the confirmation.
Those who are in favor of the motion and some ground that our revered senior parliamentarian and a parliamentary wife be allowed to take a bow and leave. Say aye. Those against the ayes have it.
The Speaker, however, directed the House Clerk to officially communicate the Governor on their confirmation for further actions.
You're watching the program from the State Assemblies, a program that reviews legislative activities in the State House of Assembly across the nation. We now take a break. When we return, Ogun Assembly calls for stronger legislative independence.
Some moments never fade, some debates still echo, and some decisions continue to shape our future. Stay back in time with us as we revisit the redefining plenary sections of Nigeria's National Assembly. From intensive debates to landmark legislations, from voices of yesterday to lessons for today, we bring history alive. This is from the archives, where the past speaks to the present, and history guides the future. We write history, revisit the debates. From the archives, only on NTA Parliament. Watch us on DSTV channel, Go TV channel, Star Times channel, and free to air.
program continues. Ogun State House of Assembly was established in 1979 following the creation of Ogun State by the federal military government in 1976. Since its inception, the legislature has remained a vital arm of government, saddled with the responsibility of lawmaking, representation, and oversight functions in line with democratic principles. In this report, Assembly correspondent Yemi Dalemo examines the effectiveness of the House in 5 decades.
The Ogun State House of Assembly has paid tribute to the founding fathers of the state, including the first civilian governor, late Chief Olabisi Onabanjo, whose legacies continue to drive the state's development. The commendation came during a special session marking the second anniversary of Speaker Oludaisi Elemide's leadership and the 50th anniversary of Ogun State's creation.
Mr. Speaker, we've really achieved a lot during your time, particularly in the area of the constituency projects.
50th anniversary of our dear state, Ogun State. I want to thank God for this milestone. Ogun State is one of the top states in this country today, and I pray that we continue on this trajectory.
Speaker, permit me to congratulate us as our state attained this milestone of 50 years anniversary. It is the celebration of resilience. It is the celebration of the effort of our forefathers. It is the celebration of the sacrifices of our forebearers, starting from that noble Ijabuma.
Lawmakers reaffirmed their unity and commitment to effective lawmaking while appreciating Governor Dapo Abiodun's support for the legislature. Speaker Oludaisi Elemide said the 10th legislature has in the last 2 years passed over 12 bills with 8 others at various stages and adopted more than 60 resolutions across the state.
It involves conflict resolution, and it goes deeper and further than even the law. You only bring the law into form when something is happening. But resolution, if we pass the resolution today, we will make sure all concerned stakeholders are served and are given. And it has yielded a lot of results.
He identified challenges such as funding constraints and lack of full financial autonomy, noting that plans are underway to digitalize legislative operations and strengthen quarterly oversight for improved performance.
Still in Ogun, the 10th Ogun State House of Assembly has called for enhanced legislative independence and greater executive compliance with Assembly resolutions. The call was made during a plenary to commemorate Ogun State's 50th anniversary and the second anniversary of the Speaker, Mr. Oludaisi Elemide's in office. Again, State Assembly correspondent Yemi Dalemo reports.
Ogun State was created on the 3rd of February 1976 by the then military government of General Murtala Muhammad as part of the nationwide state creation exercise aimed at bringing governance closer to the people. Ogun State House of Assembly has remained a vital arm of government saddled with the responsibility of lawmaking, representation, and oversight functions. The legislature began with appointed members under the military administration before transitioning to an elected house with the return to civilian rule in 1979.
Ogun State House of Assembly in 79 to 83 was the best legislative body you can talk about. I was part of it, and we did a hell of a job. When I entered Ogun State legislature as a member for Yewode, I was Mr. Bankole Lajokua. I had a bachelor's degree and I had a master's degree, even though I started working on my PhD.
Over the years, successive assemblies have enacted laws and passed resolutions aimed at strengthening governance, promoting development, and safeguarding the interests of people of the state. Despite periods of interruption during military regimes, Ogun State House of Assembly has continued to evolve, playing a strategic role in deepening democracy and supporting policies that drive social economic growth across the states.
Without the House, I don't think we can have all these achievements, because the House will have to appropriate for the state. We'll have to apportion money, appropriate money, oversight them. And if we have not been doing that effectively, you would have seen it in the development of the state. We have not fared but in contributing and playing our role in the development of Ogun State.
Today, the Ogun State House of Assembly remains a symbol of democratic resilience, guided by experienced leadership and a commitment to the rule of law. As the state continues its developmental journey, the legislature stands positioned to sustain its role as the voice of the people and a pillar of democracy in the Gateway State.
In another development, the 8th Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has recorded more progress and development in the state in the year 2025 through oversight functions, motions, and bills passed. This was the acknowledgement message by the Speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Ude Norton, as the 8th House resumed plenary for the year 2026. The report.
The Speaker Ude Norton, while thanking God for life, protection and provision, says God has been faithful to members and staff of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, expressing the hope that 2026 will be a year of expansion and blessing. He commended lawmakers for their support and encouragement, which manifested in the progress recorded in 2025, promising that the House will pass more bills and motions in the year 2026.
By the grace of God, I know 2026 is a year of our own expansion, a year of growth. I'm very sure the group of members that we have in this house, more bills, more motion, and we have got the life of Akwa Ibom people will be passed, will be moved.
Leader of the House and member representing Ntulubiom State Constituency, Otobon Bob, who welcomed his colleagues to the new year, expects robust relationship among members for a greater Akwa Ibom State.
The year 2026 shall be one where this particular House of Assembly will rise and hold the occasion to continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to our constituencies and to ensure that Akwa Ibom State remains peaceful and develops as quickly as it can through the laws we will be meeting here in this particular.
Member representing Nsereta State Constituency, Prince Nephew Ota, says the year has started well with no petition of any kind.
Mr. Speaker, we are not starting this year with a no petition.
Meanwhile, the Speaker announced that the report of the local government autonomy has been submitted to the House and committed to the Committee on Public Accounts for rescheduling.
And finally, as part of efforts to improve the socio-economic status of his constituents, Kabir Ahir Sule, representing Tarauni constituency at the Kano State House of Assembly, has donated vehicles worth millions of naira to members of his constituency. According to the lawmaker, this is aimed at appreciating the unflinching support from constituents throughout his political career. Samira Hamisishura reports that the donation is one of several empowerment initiatives undertaken by the representative since assuming office in 2023.
ADS is gradually becoming a household name, not only in his constituency, Tarauni, but across Kano metropolis. What earns him this fame are his developmental initiatives. As a first-time lawmaker at the Kano State House of Assembly, Honorable Kabiru Ahiru Sili has continued to change the narrative by advancing various socio-economic interventions for his people. This Saturday, Kabiru Ahiru Sili distributed about 10 luxury vehicles to his constituents, including political assistants and close associates. A simple but profound way of appreciating their selfless service and commitment to the advancement of democracy in Tarauni local government area.
It's part of our mandate and a plan whereby we undertake
during our first time in office, that we are going to provide and help and support the people of the constituents, and I will say that we have almost fulfilled part of those promises.
The occasion attracted party stakeholders from within and outside Taroni local government area, who described the gesture as commendable and worthy of emulation by political office holders. For the beneficiaries, the gesture is not surprising, considering the lawmakers' proven antecedents and people-oriented approach over the past few years.
It is an occasion that in which in Kano State it has not been done by previous or any other legislator.
This is a milestone. If you can see the number of cars that he has dashed out today, it's something that you cannot even believe.
Alhamdulillah, we are so grateful with this thing that we are having ourselves in this empowerment.
It's beyond expectation, and I really appreciate what he have did to me, and I pray may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfill all his dreams.
Representative Kabirud Ahirusili assured that better days are yet to come, as 2026 will be an exceptional year of giving back to the electorate. From the Kano State House of Assembly.
And with that report, we come to the end of this week's episode of the program from the State Assemblies. Remember, you can still watch this episode, news and other programs on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I remain your host, Amina Singh.